We're gathered here today for a celebration of cringe. I'm a rapper, and nowadays I make pretty cool music in my opinion. As much as I'm a diehard fan of my music today, I hate what I used to do. In this video, we're gonna listen to a couple old songs of mine from way back, before I knew how to do any vocal effects, any mixing, any good writing whatsoever, and we're gonna cringe really hard. But before we get into it, let me get on my soapbox for a second. What you're about to see in this video is not trash. Okay, it's kind of trash. It's important. For any creative endeavor, you gotta stumble through the times where you have no clue what you're doing and you're making absolute garbage. I have decided to share that garbage with you today, and this is gonna hurt my soul to do. But I do this from a place of love for the craft, because I would not be making the music I'm proud of today if I didn't stumble through this trash. And I encourage all of you to do the same thing. If there's some creative endeavor you want to start but you're worried about being bad, don't be worried. Worst case, you are bad and you have something to laugh at a few years later. Anyway, these songs are from like 2018. I was about 18 when I made these. I still went by Traceback before I went by DG the Artist. Anyway, this first song is called Hype It Up by Traceback. Let's give it a listen.
The Migos, they told you to pipe it up, but I'm here to tell you to hype it up. I wanna see y'all live your life to the fullest, so I'm here to tell you to life it up. Damn. You're all about to see how it go down. Yeah. I'm really just wanting a showdown. Yeah. I'm hitting it low down. Yeah. I've written it, so I just flow now. Flow.
Okay. So there's our hook. The Migos, they told you to pipe it up. I love Migos, R.I.P. Takeoff. The Migos have a song called Pipe It Up, so I was like, oh, what if I made a song called Hype It Up and just get everybody hyped? We're gonna get the clubs turnt with this one. A common theme that you're gonna hear in my old music is that I'm really not saying anything.
You're all about to see how it go down. Yeah. I'm really just wanting a showdown. Yeah.
Like, what does that mean? You're all about to see how it go down. I'm really just wanting a showdown. What am I talking about? What is a showdown? Who am I having a showdown with? You're gonna see how it go down? Like, what's going down? Nothing's going down.
5280's a miley. Walking around but it's silently. Driving around in that Honda Accord. When I hop out, you know that I'm styling.
Okay. I've said enough. I cringe so hard at how I started this verse. 5280's a mile. So a mile is 5,280 feet. I'm just stating a fact. 5,280 feet are in a mile. Grover Cleveland was the 22nd president. Facts! But I'm still trying to make it like sound cool. 5280's a mile. Like I'm doing that flow. But a mile? Why did I need to add the E there? I know why I needed to add the E there. Because the next bar is walking around but it's silently. And it wouldn't have worked if it didn't end with E. Again, I'm not saying anything. Walking around but it's silently. I'm pretty sure I heard Lil Wayne say real G's move in silence like lasagna, and I was like, walking around, but it's silently. Then the next bar, driving around to that Honda Accord. When I hop out, you know that I'm styling. Like, okay, I'm doing the thing where it's like, oh, I'm a relatable guy. I'm in a Honda Accord. I'm not in your Ferrari or whatever. Like, okay, you know. But there are just a lot of like unnecessary filler words in like all my lyrics from back then. Walking around, driving around, you know that I feel like these bars could be much more condensed, or I could be saying more for how many words I'm saying.
Breaking them bricks like a Mario. Training your boys like Lucario. I'm a good man, but they saying I'm bad. Yeah, they saying I'm evil like Wario. Perfect.
That was not deserving of the perfect sound effect. I rhymed Mario with Lucario and Wario. Mario and Wario, like, their names are that because they rhyme. That is not a witty rhyme.
Give me a quarter, I'm feeling it. You give me a hammer, I'm drilling it. I borrowed your flow, I ain't stealing it. Nah, I borrowed your beat and I'm killing it. Truth, I don't change, I am unshapable. It's a rodeo, I wouldn't scrapeable. Nah, this isn't the way that I plan to be flowing. Just want you to know that I'm capable.
You know, I think I meant that, like, you know, I have other flows. I'm not just gonna do this triplet flow all the time, but I'm gonna choose to interpret it as, I know this is bad, but I have to do it anyway to show you that I'm capable of doing it. I don't think that's what I meant, but I feel like you could interpret it that way, and I'm cool with that.
I want to see y'all live your life to the fullest, so I'm here to tell you to life it up. Damn. You're all about
The ad-libs are just like really rough. Like, because the thing is, you know, like I said, I didn't know how to do vocal effects at this point. Like, I was mixing this in Adobe Premiere Elements 12. Which is a video editing software from 2013. This is not software you use for mixing music. at all. Like, it has a few audio effects, like you can change the bass and the treble and things like that. But yeah, that kind of just makes the ad-libs feel really out of place. Like, I say a bar, and then in the same exact voice, I say an ad-lib. The Migos, they told you to pipe it up. Damn! I'm pretty sure that's how I recorded this.
I'm interested in the style. This seems to be always on trial. Court of ad-libs that last for a while. Of Boogie, Amina, and Kyle. In Double XL, they a freshman. But wait till they see who I'm rapping. Wait, don't think it needs any convincing? Nah. The 4.0 got me to Princeton. Hey, give me a quarter.
Okay, in those 8 bars, we have both the best bar of the song and the thing that makes me cringe the absolute hardest out of anything in this whole song. Best bar of the song. Don't think it needs any convincing. The 4.0 got me to Princeton. I remember writing that and I was like, okay, this was like right after I got into Princeton. And I was like, let me throw some brag rap in there, you know, like I got into a really good school. This is not a good bar, but it has the fundamentals of a bar. There's the setup, don't think it needs any convincing, and then the payoff, the punchline. The 4.0 got me to Princeton. It's got some braggadocio in it. It's a 2-syllable rhyme. I think that's the highlight of the song for me. Again, still not good, but there's a little potential in it. The thing that pisses me off the most about this section is just how weird the rest of it is. I'm interested in the style. Okay, first of all, nobody talks like that. Like, I clearly need to pad out the syllables there. But I don't know what I was talking about after this. I'm interested in the style that seems to be always on trial. And then I say, court. So I'm talking about how I'm interested in rappers who are in court a lot. Of ad-libs that last for a while. So, you know, I like Migos. Of Boogie, Amine, and Kyle. So I named 3 XXL freshmen from 2017. I think I was just trying to name like contemporary rappers who like sort of fit into trap. And then it's the setup to the Princeton bar. In XXL, they are freshmen, but wait till they see what I'm repping. Because I was about to be a freshman at Princeton. Anyway, I don't know why like these specific bars make me cringe so much. It feels like a Dr. Seuss book. I'm interested in the style that seems to be always on trial. Of ad-libs that last for a while. Of Boogie, Amine, and Kyle. 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. Like what? It's just a really hard listen to me knowing that I wrote this. Sort of like building up to the next hook.
Give me a hammer, I'm drilling it. A barge of flow and stealing it. A barge of beating, I'm killing it. Hey, the Migos, they told you to pipe it up. But I'm here to tell you to hype it up. Hey.
Anyway, it's just the hook again. You don't need to hear it again. But yeah, this track is basically just raw vocals with a stolen Migos flow, but done terribly. But before we move on to the next song, I just want to say once again, I'm being really negative at myself here, but it's not trash. It's important. Don't forget that. You know, love the process and all that. Anyway, this one's called Test Run, and I remember that I intended to start my album with this because it starts out with me flowing really fast.
I want to get my feelings out, but I don't want to write. But I'm writing all these words I think I'll turn into a song. I want to know if everything you think you do is right, or if there's a possibility that everything is wrong. And I want to tell the truth about the way I live my life. If there's an issue in the method that I just cannot describe, when I write this and I rhyme it and I time it so it's flowing in a way that I can say is truly perfect in my mind. Yeah, it feels so good to be letting this flow. And I know that I go for the speed and I show when I write and I type that the thoughts in my life are the things that affect everything that I know.
Okay, be quiet. So I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't say anything. Imagine somebody came up to you in the supermarket and said, I want to tell the truth about the way I live my life, but there's an issue in that method that I just cannot describe. And when I write this and I rhyme it and I time it so it's flowing in a way that I can say is truly perfect in my mind, I don't think you'd know how to respond to that. And not just how to respond to that, I don't think you would know how to process that. Like, it's just a bunch of words that kind of rhyme. That's all there is to it.
And I know that I go for the speed and I show when I write and I type that the thoughts in my life are the things that affect everything that I know. Yeah, it's been a while since I rapped off a script. All this is nothing but a stream of consciousness. It's just what comes out when I'm writing this, from my mind to the keys as I'm typing this, and I don't know where it's going next. Yeah, I have no idea, and I don't know where I'm going next. Yeah, I got my fears. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but the drop near, so I think I'm gonna have to stop it all right here. Wait a sec. No, I'm not. I got my fire, then I go.
Okay. I remember thinking that was the hardest thing ever when I made it. I'm flowing really fast for the first like 35 seconds of this song. And then I say, the drop nears, so I think I'm gonna have to stop it all right here. And I finally take a breath. And then I say, wait a sec. No, I'm not. And then I keep flowing. The vocals just don't sit well enough in the mix for this to be hard. You know what I mean? Anyway, I remember this part of the song and I think about it often, and it is one of the cringiest things I've ever written.
No, I'm not. I got more fire than a gunshot, more random than a T-Scott, boats than a little yacht, sets than a mouth of brought, signs than a wave got, thoughts in the same spot, danger than a red dot, room than a crock pot, shacks than a knot hot, data than a dot plot, rules than a knot, power than a 12 watt, ooh, yeah, dropping.
So I'm just saying I have more X than Y, and I do that for however many seconds that was. I understand the general bar structure here, like I'm bragging about how I have more this than this thing, which has a lot of this. But the problem is the things that I'm bragging about are meaningless. I say I have more data than a dot plot. And sure, a dot plot has a lot of data, but what does it mean for me to have a lot of data? Am I bragging that my phone plan has a lot of data? I have a really big hard drive? Like, I know it couldn't have been my phone plan, because I know for a fact I was on 2 gigabytes of data while most of my friends had unlimited, so it definitely wasn't that. I'm saying I have more sets than a Mandelbrot, which doesn't even make sense, because like I'm referencing the Mandelbrot set, which honestly I don't think I ever properly learned what that was. I just heard the name in math or whatever. I don't know if the Mandelbrot set has a lot of sets, but even if it did, what does it mean for me to have a lot of sets? How is that a brag? I think the only one that was good was saying I got more fire than a gunshot, and that was the first one. I'm not gonna break down the rest of it. You can if you want, but it hurts me too much. Let's keep going.
Dropping a single, I'm dropping it fast. Dropping it quick so I don't come in last. Doing it quick, but I'm doing my best. Doing it quick so I call it a test. Dropping a single.
Okay, so the hook here is about how I'm dropping a single. I'm gonna give myself a little credit here though, because I don't know if y'all know this, but Kendrick Lamar's like first single, I think it was called Bitch I'm in the Club, and like the hook goes, and this is my single,
and this is my single.
So if Kendrick can do it, maybe I can do it too?
Doing it quick so I call it a test. I slowed it down a second cause I had to take a breather. About 3/4 it, this is fast cause I'm just an underachiever.
Mama told me not to sell work. This is straight up t-shirt by Migos, but worse.
Lost the flow I had before, I think I gotta go retrieve it. That was slow, I'm coming back cause I'm about to pull the lever.
That was slow. I'm coming back cause I'm about to pull the lever. Ready? I'm pulling the lever. This is Traceback about to rap fast again, because I know you were waiting for it. Let's hear what I got.
I got syllables a second, many more than I can beckon, and I'm about to teach a lesson, because you know that I am messing all the rapper. They be talking, but they walk into a coffin. I ain't living like a newsie, because I'm rapping while it's coughing, because you know that I don't soften all the truth. I feel I'm rough and all, you know that I ain't tough, and I stay home and do the stuff and all. Words coming out like a high-low.
Man, I'm impressed. I feel like the reaction I wanted people to have was like, what? How does he not run out of breath? It's weird though, like I'm stumbling over the words, I'm not saying anything. It's just a hard listen, man, I'm sorry.
Spacing on my lyrics like my mind froze. Backspacing on my lyrics like the typos. Lyrics half as important as some nice flows. Got a million.
Okay, you know? That's good. That's good. Self-awareness. Lyrics half as important as some nice flows. So I know that my lyrics aren't the key here. I shouldn't be listening to this for lyrics. I should be listening for the flow. The thing that's unfortunate is that the flows are also pretty bad.
Not a pilly, but I'm living like I'm high, bro. No athletics, but it's looking like a high throw. I might catch it if I knew to ride a bike, though. I don't try for 9 AM, but not the time zone. Always wonder if it's worth the extra time, though. I was never even taught a way to rhyme, so I'm saying I'm the greatest rapper of all time, yo. Hey.
I was never even taught a way to rhyme, so I'm saying I'm the greatest rapper of all time. Because as you know, most rappers actually had to be taught how to rhyme. But I, on the other hand, I am far above most of these other rappers, because I didn't have to learn how to rhyme. I was never taught how to rhyme. I'm just that good. If I'm that good without a formal education on how to rap, I think I must be the greatest rapper of all time.
I ain't lying to ya like I'm selling real estate. Nah, I'm being honest with ya cause I'm in my real estate.
I remember that bar because I was so proud of it that I remember telling my dad about it. I ain't lying to you like I'm selling real estate. Nah, I'm being honest with you because I'm in my realist state. And my dad's response to that was, are realtors liars? And looking back, I don't really know. I feel like maybe sometimes realtors will sort of stretch the truth a little bit to get you to buy a house, but also I don't think a realtor is like a profession that's so known for being like a liar. So my dad just totally called me out on that bar, and he was probably right.
All this rhyming, all this lyricism, yeah, I feel it's fate.
All this lyricism, I feel it's fate. You can't call what I just did lyricism. And I just said the lyrics are half as important as some nice flows.
Ain't taking any power yet, 0 work per time, cause when I'm in a certain mood I know that everything'll rhyme, and I don't care about the criticism that I'll see online, because I know that creativity will never be a crime. Hey,
okay, I'm cool with that bar. I don't care about the criticism that I'll see online because I know that creativity will never be a crime. I like that, and it's a good reminder to me and anybody watching. This was just me being creative. As much as it hurts me to listen to it now with fresh ears, knowing that it's terrible, it's not a crime. That would be a nice wholesome note to end on, but I also noticed that during the delivery of those bars, I run out of breath at the end, which is funny that I didn't just do another take. Like, listen to this.
know that creativity will never be a crime. Hey, dropping.
Like, you could just hear all the air leaving me. Like, the word crime is just so much quieter than everything else. And then I barely eke out an "ay" at the end. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I just repeat the hook after that a few times, so I think we can call it for today. If you enjoyed this video, let me know. I have plenty more songs from this era that I would simultaneously love and hate to share with you all. And if the gods of the YouTube algorithm smiled down on this video and this has reached some people who have never seen me before, well, first of all, thank you. It takes a lot of dedication to watch somebody for this long who you've never heard of before. But second of all, if the only time you've ever heard me rap is on Hype It Up and Test Run, please, I beg you, give me another chance. I'd recommend just listening to all of Ego Death, and I've got my 3rd album coming out in May, so drop a sub and make sure you don't miss it. Anyway, that's it for this one. I'm gonna go clean my ears. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.